I cannot believe we're actually living through this. Hermes, the untouchable, the elite, the brand that built an empire on silent judgment and whispered wealth, filed for bankruptcy. And now it's like the entire luxury universe imploded overnight. Let's be real. This is not just a brand faltering. This is an empire collapsing. This is Rome on fire.
Got a lot of requests. Do Hermes next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
In Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way. I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
And the first major casualty. The Birkin bags were never just bags. They were armor. They were power people. Literally use them as leverage in social circles. I've seen grown adults get snubbed by Hermes sales staff and spiral into emotional turmoil. These bags dominated people.
Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory? Today, I'm going to break it down in front of you step by step. First thing first, Hermes only use the leathers from the 3 top-level suppliers. One is called Muti from Italy. The second is Weinheim from Germany. And the third is Haas from France. One piece of Togo leather, the same leather as this one, will cost 450 USD. And one piece of the leather is only enough to make one Birkin, okay? The thread. And of course, for Hermes Birkin, the thread is also the best top level. It's called Fil al Chinois from France. This is actually the Rolls Royce in thread. For each bag, the cost is 25 USD. And then the hardware. See, this hardware is called 316 hardware. It's also known as the ocean stainless steel because it can withstand the erosion of seawater. It's the best stainless steel. For one piece of bag, the hardware will cost 150 USD. The edge oil. This edge oil is imported from Italy. It's called heat sealed edge oil. For each bag, it will cost 50 USD. The interior lining, it used lambskin imported from France. For each bag, the cost will be 100 USD. And also inside, there is a zipper from Riri brand. And the zipper for one bag is 10 USD.
And now Birkins are reportedly being discounted like they're out of trench coats at an outlet store slashed so low it's actually insulting to the people who waited years and spent tens of thousands. Just to get one, people would weep when they got offered a Birkin. Now they're crying for a different reason because the value evaporated overnight. This isn't about discounts, this is about identity collapse. About a generation waking up and realizing maybe the luxury dream was a crafted illusion. All along.
It requires a lot of skill to turn it and get it on the right way.
Il y a des bouchées, des bacs plus 4, 5, 6.
Because when Birkin bags, the most aggressively gate-kept item in fashion history, start getting tossed into markdown bins, that's not just Hermes going bankrupt. That's a cultural shift. And I think it was long overdue. And yeah, I have a lot to say about it, so let's go there, let's talk real figures. Because what's occurring now is truly mind-blowing. Just a few weeks ago, you couldn't touch a Birkin for less than 20K, unless it was beat to hell or fake. But now,
they feel cheaper. No, that's not quality issue. It's luxury brand washing.
Hermes, you guys, it's time to show off your factories. No, I don't want to wait to go on YouTube and watch a beautiful documentary on show them off right here on TikTok. Let the world see. Okay, get like China. You gotta be ghetto about it. Just let people know.
I'm seeing legitimate listings authenticated and all dropping below $9,000. And I'm not talking about weird colors or mini sizes. I mean classic leathers, iconic shapes, the ones people used to fight over in Paris. Boutiques, it's happening fast. Like, a free fall one day, you're flaunting your Birkin in a group chat the next day. Someone's reselling the same bag for half of what you paid.
I need you people to wake up and critically think and stop believing this shit that you see on TikTok, okay?
You mean to tell me you believe that this man is making your Birkins in China? If he's a Birkin artisan, then I'm an astronaut.
It's made in China. I can get that for $12.
Go outside and touch grass. Some of you guys feel like this is your moment to shine and you can finally stick it to people that buy luxury.
Just to get rid of it before the bottom falls out completely. It's panic selling. And I think people are starting to see they were never the ones in control. You want to know what this feels like? It feels like the stock market crash of luxury goods. The minute that bankruptcy news hit, everything started spiraling. I've seen resale chats with people sobbing literal crying emojis because they bought 5 Birkins last year as investments. Now they're stuck holding the bag literally, and I'm going, to say it straight, this is karma. Because for years, these brands made people jump through degrading hoops to even be considered for a Birkin spend. 10K on scarves and belt buckles. Just to make a wish list, beg, smile. Submit all to be permitted to. Buy a purse, it was absurd. And I think this collapse is the universe striking back. The exclusivity model was always a scam. And now that scam is unraveling in real time. It's like watching the pyramid crumble, while the people at the bottom try to scramble out, and it's not over yet. Let's rip the bandage off. Hermes was faking it. Not the quality. No, the bags were well made, but the illusion. The notion that these things were rare, special, impossible to get, unless you were part of an elite chosen. Phew, that was the lie. And I think the industry knew it. The influencers knew it. Even some of the hardcore collectors knew it deep down. But they played along because the illusion sold. Fake scarcity is the most potent marketing tactic on earth. And Hermes played it perfectly for a while until they got greedy. I think they pushed the fantasy too far. All those controlled distribution games, the secret client lists, the fake. You have to build a relationship. Speeches from sales reps, all of it was theater. And the longer they kept it up, the more bags quietly piled up behind the scenes. Now with the bankruptcy confirmed, the curtain is down. Suddenly, insiders are murmuring about entire warehouses of unsold Birkins. Suddenly, we're finding out just how many of these rare bags were actually being produced. And it's a lot. I'm telling you, the resale market is flooded. You can't scroll through Fashion File or The Real without tripping over Birkins right now. And these aren't duds. These are bags people would have killed for last year. The illusion is shattered, and here's the kicker. Once the magic's gone, it never comes back. No one wants to pay $20K for a bag. They just saw listed for $7, $8.95 with free shipping. This wasn't just a brand losing value. This was a brand losing trust. And in the world of luxury, once that goes, you're done. Oh, you thought this was just a girly fashion crisis? Please, the Birkin bros are in full panic mode. And I'm loving every second of it. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The finance guys on TikTok and YouTube who turned luxury handbags into a flex for dudes. The ones who said buying a Birkin was better than Bitcoin and swore up and down that these bags were recession-proof assets. They dropped charts, talked about supply-demand curves they made. People believe Birkins were the new gold bars. And now silence. Not a single update video. No price charts. No smug breakdowns on how to arbitrage. Handbags, just deleted comments and ghosted group chats. Because the second Birkin bag stopped being guaranteed cash. Cows. Their whole little empire cracked. These guys built entire courses and subscription groups teaching people how to invest in luxury, and now their portfolios are bleeding. The irony, they mocked people for investing in NFTs, but at least the NFT bros knew it was risky. Birkin bros treated handbags like Pokemon cards, hunted rare colorways, tracked resale analytics like it was a Wall Street spreadsheet. But now these bags are turning into beanie babies with handles. I even saw one guy trying to spin it. Like, this is a great buying opportunity, sir. Your followers just lost thousands, and you're still trying to pump the bags like it's TAI 21. The silence from that crowd deafening and honestly deserved. They turned fashion into finance and sucked the soul out of it, and now they're getting a taste of what happens when you try to commodify culture, and the culture fights back. This was never about investment. It was about ego. And now that the bags aren't making the money anymore, the love's gone. Funny how that works. What really blew my mind? The celeb response. You'd think the fashion girls would be the first to turn on Hermes, but no, it's the stylists, the PR teams, the handlers behind the scenes. They're scrubbing Birkin bags from Instagram like it's damage control. I've seen at least 3 stylists go back and archive their clients' Birkin posts, bags that were once centerpiece shots suddenly cropped or gone, like they never happened. One A-list celeb, whose entire vibe was quiet luxury, just deleted 2 months of content. No announcement, no reason, just poof. That's not coincidence, that's crisis management, because, let's be honest, nobody wants to be seen holding the bag. Literally when the brand just filed bankruptcy and is getting dragged into fraud rumors. People remember, and celebs have teams whose entire job is to dodge scandals before. They blow up, and this is looking real scandal adjacent. There's also the labor stuff, quiet whispers about unethical factories, cheap labor behind handmade bags. And now that Hermes is exposed, nobody wants to be the face of that story. What's even more ridiculous is how fast people are switching gears. Some of the same influencers who used to say things like, "A Birkin is forever," are now out here pushing vegan leather bags and acting like they've always been sustainable. And the celebrities, they'll pretend they were never into Birkins anyway, that they only wore them once, that it wasn't that deep. Please, these people built. Their red carpet looks around that bag. They used it as a symbol of status and power. They were defined by it. But now that it's falling from grace, they're scrambling to pretend they were just borrowing it for a shoot. The backpedaling is wild, but also so predictable. Hollywood is loyal to status, not brands. And the second that status drops, the loyalty vanishes. Here's what I truly believe: Hermes is just the first to fall. Everyone's acting like this is some isolated collapse, but let's not. Play Dumb Hermes was the cornerstone of the quiet luxury movement. If they can file bankruptcy, if they can lose their grip on exclusivity, then no brand is safe, not a single one. Louis Vuitton already facing heat for factory sourcing and monogram. Oversaturation Chanel increasing prices while quietly cutting. Quality Dior writing trends and collabs way harder than they used to. I think they're all teetering. And guess what? A lot of them use the same offshore factories, the same stitching styles, the same fake scarcity playbook. So if Hermes is getting exposed, and let's be clear, they are, then it's only a matter of time before people start asking the same questions about the others. Where are your bags really made? How many are actually in circulation? Who's working in those factories? What are they paid? Why are you raising prices every quarter while shipping delays and quality issues keep piling up? We're entering the luxury reckoning, and I think this Birkin collapse is the spark that's igniting the fuse, because the illusion of luxury isn't about materials or craftsmanship anymore. It's about control of the narrative, control of the brand story. And when a major player like Hermes loses control, it doesn't just damage their legacy, it shakes the whole system. This industry built itself on fantasy, on aspiration, but now the fantasy's breaking and the cracks are showing in every brand. One gust of wind from the inside, and the whole house of cards comes crashing down. Let me be honest. I think this was unavoidable. You can't build an empire on false scarcity, exploitation, and gatekeeping and expect it to last forever. People were going to wake up, and now that they have, they're seeing the brand for what it really was. I think we're witnessing the end of an era. The Birkin bag is no longer a flex. It's a remnant of a system that finally cracked under its own weight. And honestly, good. Maybe now we can start defining style by taste, not by price tag, and before the fanboys come for me. No, I'm not saying every Hermes bag is trash. I'm saying the illusion that made them valuable just got shattered. And once you break that spell, you can't unsee it in 10 years. People are going to study this collapse like a case study in branding. Gone too far. Birkin bags went from holy grail to bargain bin in record time. And Hermes, once untouchable, is now a cautionary tale, a symbol of what happens when a brand overplays its hand and loses the plot. I think the luxury world is about to change forever, and not everyone's going to survive the shift. So buckle up, because the next brand to fall might be one we thought was even stronger than Hermes.